Welcome back. Naturalist John Muir once said, "Between every two pines is a doorway to a new world." Trees are doorways to new worlds and to new places inside of us. Trees on the hillsides are whispering green. Right on the left here, a little ways in, is our vernal pool. It can hear the whispers. Trees are holding secrets of all kinds. Trees are beginning their lives just as all creatures and plants do, small and strong. They live as long as they can on their own and among us, holding birdhouses and sheltering us, giving us places to climb. Hello, 2nd and 3rd grade Wild Riders of Mamaroneck. Welcome back to Tree Week, Day 2. And I wanted to show you what I was doing in my nature journal. I went back to some of those blind contour drawings and added a little bit of color. And in the same way that when I did the contour drawings, I wasn't super fussy, I wasn't fussy with the color either. I wanted it to feel a little wild, maybe, like a tree. So you can see here, added some brown and some color also to my noticing and wondering, and reminds me of words. I have the words apple tree highlighted in red here. Same here, one tree, two ways. If you recall, I had the contour drawing and then the looking a little more closely drawing here. And then I went back in thinking about that apple tree to the parts, and I colored them in to match those light green leaves of an apple tree and pink and yellow and whitish buds of the flowers, the blossoms. It was so much fun to write about being the apple tree. I'm just thinking about the bees again. Now, last week when we talked about birds, one of the things I mentioned is that I wanted to get to know some more birds, because I know some names of the birds, but I really want to get to know some more, get to know their habits, get to know their songs. And this is true for me with trees as well. There are some trees I know and many trees I do not know. So I decided this week I used this book, actually, called The Tree Book for Kids and Their Grown-Ups, to help me draw some leaves. Now, I could just as easily have done this online. I will share with you a resource, a local resource. Again, it's Sawmill River Audubon I shared with you last week, and they have links to the 10 most popular trees you'll see in Westchester, and you can draw leaves yourselves by looking there. But I made 6 little photo places, and I decided this week I would get to know white oak. I know oak, but white oak is the rounder lobes. Black walnut, we have black walnut trees here on the property. You can see this is different because there are many little leaflets here. Shagbark hickory, also with 5. Paper birch, I have been seeing those a lot in the forest. European beech, and sweet gum. And when I looked at sweet gum, when I drew this, it made me think about actually the shape of a starfish. It looks a little bit like a maple tree leaf, and I know maple leaves, although not all the different ones. So I decided not to include maple on this list of leaves that I want to get to know better. So the act of drawing these leaves, looking closely at somebody else's drawing from this book, I'll show you what the drawings look like, helped me do my drawings. So you can see here's the European beech right here in the Tree Book for Kids and Their Grown-Ups by Gina Ingaglia. And I have my paper birch, or European beech, sorry, down here at the bottom. You can see what I looked at and what I drew. And so it helps to look at someone else's drawings or an actual leaf or a photograph of a leaf as you do your own drawings. And when I did this, it was, I would say, more of a modified contour drawing, which means I looked at the picture, drew a little, and then looked. I went back and forth with the drawing and the looking. So I didn't just draw these looking only at the other person's drawing. I looked back and forth to my page in the book, my page in the book. So this is something I found very meditative is the word I would use. It was very calming. It really helped me to think about whether the leaf was toothed and had these little, sharp, spiky edges, or smooth like the paper birch, or smoother like the beech. And now when I see these trees, I'll remember that. So that was a good exercise for me. I also remembered that I have written some tree poems, and so I thought I'm going to get one of those old tree poems and copy it into my nature journal. Actually, I cut it and then glued it in, made a border. I'll read it to you. It's called I Was a Tree Before. I was lying in the grass, looking up at our big oak, when I closed my eyes to fall asleep, and when at last I woke, I could not move my arms or legs. I could not speak a word. I was a tree. I cried a tear, but then I saw the bird. A little bird, so new to flight with tiny wings and beak. She landed in my branches. I listened to her speak. You trees are safe and beautiful. That's what my mamma said. I felt her bird feet tickle me. She shook her feathered head. That day was many years ago. I am a child once more. But I am different now because I was a tree before. So this poem actually kind of like the writing I did thinking, imagining meeting and chatting with an apple tree took me into the land of make-believe. So there's the truth of birds do live in trees, right? They're part of that tree system, and trees are the homes of birds many times. But also the playfulness of how a tree might feel, how a bird might feel, how a human might feel, completely transformed into something else. So if you feel like writing poems about trees this week, absolutely go for it. It was wonderful to see you. I look forward to seeing you next week. Guess what? Ponds. If you were wondering what I had around my neck, yes, a stethoscope. Did you know you can listen to the sap inside of trees with a stethoscope? I'm closing my eyes because it's easier to hear that way. Trees keep us warm with firewood. They feed us with all types of fruits and nuts. Apples we can eat plain, in pies, or in fresh pressed cider. Much of our furniture is made from the wood of trees. Trees offer so much to so many. This oak is now holding a swarm of bees before they find a new place to live. Here is our son Henry reading The Hidden Life of Trees in the Old Box Elder. May you find a great tree friend too. Learn about 10 of the most common Westchester trees: sugar maple, red maple, American beech, northern red oak, white oak, sassafras, American sycamore, tulip tree, shagbark hickory, and white pine here at Sawmill River Audubon. May your nature journals be good companions. Write wild, Mamaroneck friends.